This year marks the 10-year anniversary of one of the most legendary albums, Get Rich or Die Trying. Looking back now on the impact of that, did you have any idea when you were making that it was going to have that kind of longevity?
No way. I mean, just a dream to come true. If I had to make a wish, I just wish for that project to be a success. It was all that mattered at that point. And no matter how much you feel like you're prepared for something, it never happens on your time, like when you think you're ready, like it's supposed to happen. It always happens when it's supposed to happen. Because the period that you feel ready and people are not acknowledging the material the way you feel like they should because it's good, is the time that you actually develop skin thick enough to survive when it does work. You know, it's like when you play something and you know that this is good. You don't hear this? You know that, like I get that all the time. It's like you run into that same energy later after you've had success. Because as a new artist, you get people that hear it, but they don't know that it has a value to it. They listen to it and they go, yeah, it's cool, yeah. Because they don't see you the way they see the guy that everyone's embracing at the moment. And I don't think artists should make adjustments. I think they should stay in that pocket that they're in, and when they have a moment, it really explodes because it's different, it's special, you know what I mean? But a lot of us are in the circumstances when it's starting where there ain't no plan B. Right. Shit gotta work. If it don't work, what's gonna happen? You know, so if you're in that point and position, you go, what's working? And you start to get influence or you sway to what's actually working at the moment. And your music changes and starts to sound a little bit like what's happening on the radio right now. I've heard demo tapes from 10 different Lil Waynes that wasn't Lil Wayne. Right. You know what I mean? I was like, damn, he got that shit down pat. That should sound like Lil Wayne did, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, right. And then it's tough. Like, how do you say that it's not good? If what's working right now is that. You know what I'm saying? So you go, damn, like it's good, but it's hard for me to really embrace it because you ain't Lil Wayne. Right. Like, you want me to invest the money in the copy? No, man, I'm saying. That shit ain't gonna work, man.
I remember seeing in your interview with Oprah, you talked about when you bought the Mike Tyson house. Yeah. And how you're talking about friends and how you wanted to accommodate everybody that you came up with. Yeah, well, where I'm from, you're as strong as your crew. You're strong as what you've built. I bring that lesson into what I was doing in music. And we had so much success at that point, I wasn't sure everything else was gonna work. You know, so I got a place that was big enough for us to be there and still have my space, like when I'm by myself, even though everybody's here. At what point in your life did you realize that, you know, I need to take care of 50, and there's a lot of people out here, but they might not have my best interests at hand? I've seen so many people with bad intentions before we get to that point of success that kind of was aware of it, just not overextending myself in certain situations. Like, a lot of people here may not know every member of D12 by name or every member of the St. Lunatics, but chances are that they recognize who was a part of G Unit. And it's because I was so conscious of the people around me that after the first record took off, and Interscope Records really didn't want, why do you want a G Unit record when you can have another 50 Cent record if that one is the largest debut in hip-hop album? You know, you want another 50 Cent record. So I was adamant about positioning them properly because those crews with D12 and St. Lunatics had people that spearheaded them, like Eminem and Nelly, that had so much success. Those projects would take 2 years before they were finished. Like, it would come out and be such a huge success that they're traveling and they're touring and so much going on that the crew would be there and they would turn into like those guys that are just in the background. So when you launch 2 albums before you get to them,
people start to see them like they see this backdrop. Like, you the guy in the background when Nelly is, I know you the guy with Nelly. You know, like they know you for that instead of what you actually do as an artist. And I didn't want that to happen, so I made the G-Unit project happen at that point.
How do you feel the state of hip hop has evolved from when you put out Get Rich or Die Trying to now when Kendrick is one of the most buzzed artists putting out Good Kid, Mad City?
Yeah.
How do you feel, because when you put out that album, hip hop was in a completely different landscape
Right.
than what it is now. How do you think it's evolved?
Music recycles itself like fashion. So a lot of the content, the things that we're actually utilizing has been done in a different fashion. Like, I'll try to give an example. I think it was written Nas' second album. He had a song where he was the gun. And it was one of those things that had a strong impression on hip-hop culture at that point. It was like a song that was like, wow, like it had a good metaphor, it was strong, and it gave you a visual. And he's one of the great storytellers within, you know, hip-hop music culture. And that within R&B music would be something that happens so common that it doesn't have any significance. The usage of that metaphor at that point. It's like, I wrote a song that was my favorite song off my second album, and that LP sold 10 million records with no assistance from my favorite song. My favorite song on the record was A Baltimore Love Thing. And it was a metaphor, an actual song where I used a relationship between an addict, a female addict, and the drug heroin, giving the drug the male's emotions and saying, how would it feel if you keep listening to people tell you to leave me when I love you so much? Every time you come, I take the pain away, don't I? And because she keeps listening to people saying you should change your life or get yourself together, it drags her deeper into addiction. And it's one of my favorite records because of the depth to the story itself and that actual experience. And it's just cool. It had more to it than a lot of the other records that work. But hey, you know, I'll take you to the candy shop.
You have so many endeavors. Music, acting, writing books,
Right.
energy drink, the headphone line. How do you find time to do all this stuff?
Well, you gotta be passionate about the things you commit to. When you're successful, there's a period that you have to work through. It's that cloud again. It comes back around and people say, yeah, it's cool, because you've had several hit records for quite some time. They go, yeah, it's cool. That new song, yeah, it's hot, but it's not hot as it was on Get Rich or Die Trying. It's pretty tough to have, and you never have, a second shot at a first impression, right? So when you meet someone for the first time, you can appreciate them in a different way than after you've assessed them and you feel like you know exactly who they are. And hear it again, it's cool. But that cloud is actually created by the artist community themselves, because they go, yeah, it's cool, but if you keep winning, how the hell I'm gonna have my shot at winning? Come on, fool, you done made enough money. You know, like they get that thing there, but they don't realize that you going, I just want to win so I can feel like I felt when it happened the first time. And newsflash, I'll never sell 13 million records again. Never sell 10 million records again. No, I don't think anybody's gonna do it.
It's a different culture.
It's a different business, it's a different thing, and I'm cool with that. I'm making music because I love it. And it's why I'm here. There's nothing that can actually compare to when it's right. What it feels like when it's right. The music is just dead right, and it's like, that energy that's there, man, it's a special kind of high.
that you get addicted to, and you'll chase it for the rest of your actual career. When you feel that feeling, whether it's your first album, second album, third album, just the single, because a lot of artists have a career long enough for one song, you know, but when you feel what that feeling is, you ain't gonna replace it.